how far the theater has come since Michael Cochran arrived in late 1983 to now it's difficult even for me to conceive of, and I've seen the whole thing.
He's a good man, and he's very good at what he does with this theater, and he obviously has such love, not just for this structure, but for the people, all of the many volunteers that make this thing what it is.
People always ask me, so what's the first play you remember seeing? And I went on a family trip out to Wyoming, and I saw an outdoor drama show called Fly Speck Billy in South Dakota, and was just fascinated with all these actors and telling this story. So I came back to school, and this was in the fifth grade, I guess it was. And I got all the neighborhood kids, and we got refrigerator boxes and stuff, and we built a set and we put on a show. And I'd always been kind of loved the theater experience, but really got involved in music in high school. So I was in a band and wanted to do that was when all the big concept bands with Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and all of that were going on. So I really wanted to do that environmental production thing, the whole thing of moving people with music and, vision, the lights, the sound, everything else. And what I found was that I could do that in theater.
He has become one of its most respected citizens for what he's been able to do with Market House. The fact that they're able to get so many people, who would never want to be seen speaking in public, to get on stage and become these whole other person, it's really life-changing.
Well, Michael just brought so much to the Market House. The main thing is the big Q. He brought quality. Quality. The Market House is known far and wide for the quality of productions.
We're really taken with how great and warm and loving and kind the people were, and they were like excited to see, us and each other, and, so we really liked the community a lot.
We talked about it and said, hey, why don't I take the job in Paducah, Kentucky for a community theater, which I'd never worked at before.
Neither one of us had.
Neither one of us had. We get married and we try it for 2 years. I remember pulling up in front of the theater, looking at the Market House building and going, where did they put a theater in this place? And I came on a technical rehearsal day, which is when they're setting the light cues, and I knocked on the back door of the theater and walked in, and they had all the actors standing on stage while they set all the light cues. So the actors stood there and moved around for a little bit for hours and hours, and I thought, oh, this would never work in professional theater. I can probably help this. Two years after we came here, we were probably ready to go, except that the person who hired me, they left. And April filled in during that time period, and then they left Paducah, and they did a nationwide search, the Market House board did, and they hired April to be the executive director, so April became my boss again. And so she did that for 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. It's hard to even remember that I ran the theater for 10 years. Because that's been so long ago. I've been doing kids, for many, many more years subsequently, but yeah.
After 10 years, she had grown the education part so much, and the theater had grown with the number of shows and everything we did out of that building, the one building, that we then needed to expand. So we did the second stage capital campaign, which was to add classroom space, rehearsal space, a studio theater, administrative offices, a costume shop, a scene shop, all the things we didn't have. And that was when April said, I don't want to do fundraising.
No.
I just love kids.
Yeah.
And the theater hired me to be the executive director. And that was 30 years ago. We've been a team.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not really
No.
boss and employee.
We've always been a team.
Yeah. Even in college we were.
Even in college we were a
Yeah.
team. That's why we work together. And I know a lot of people who go, I could not work with my spouse. But we've made it work. And I think the thing that for me is that April always pushed to make something better. And I had that quality as well. So we were kind of pushing each other to take the next step, to do the next challenging thing, to make things better. And that's what really made the quality level and a lot of the things that we've done with the theater to step up, because we kind of pushed each other on to step up with that.
But he also doesn't laugh out loud, and that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
He does this grinning thing
Yeah.
where he just goes
He smirks.
and shakes his head. And if you can get him to shake his head, then you know it's hilarious. But he's a good director. He's a good person to be around. Like I said, Michael's been a very close friend of mine, and I have a lot of respect for Michael.
I don't know whether anyone else would have thought so progressively as he did. I think we were lucky to have him at the time, in small little Paducah. We had this progressive team, also with April, who were going to make things better. We showed people this is what theater is. I take great pride in that we did that, and we did that because of him.
I remember people, it's like Mary Margaret Hoffman doing shows, and she was the grande dame of Market House Theater
And
when I
Dottie
came
Toy.
here. Dottie Toy. Some of the people that
Jane
really
Simmons.
were a part of that aren't with us anymore. Those are the people that really I have fond memories of. I'll be sitting watching a show, and suddenly I'll flash back to a moment from another show with an actor in that spot, and the light's on them, and they're singing, and the audience is right there with them. And so I kind of have those moments where I see things. We just did the show at Clark Elementary School, which was Lion King Kids. And in that show, there are moments in that show, even with kids who are, in school costumes and doing stuff, I still get emotional. Verklempt. I get that when, theater has that power. And I get it when an actor hits that. And even when an actor is learning that the power of the story, the power of theater to do that gets me every time. I get emotional. I can watch a rehearsal 50 times of an actor do something, and they can still make me tear up or emotional watching that because I'm right there with them in that moment, experiencing it.
He just believes in the transformative power of theater and stories for creating community and for personal growth, and it just transforms their lives. You see, certainly you see it with children all the time, but even adults. I've seen adults whose lives have been changed because Michael presents the opportunity for everyone in the community. He wants to invite everybody in. He doesn't have just his few favorites that he uses. He really does try to include as many new people as possible.
When I think of Michael, I think of somebody who's incredibly creative. From writing to directing to thinking about ways to use an empty back lot and turn it into a theater space, to thinking about all these empty buildings downtown that could be used in new and productive ways. But the other thing about Michael is he's just a really decent human being. He is very conscientious about treating people with kindness and treating people respectfully.
Market House Theater, Michael and April, made me feel that what I had to offer was worth having, and ultimately made me feel like I mattered. And in my opinion, that's the greatest thing you can do for another human being.
Thank you so much for all the time, all the energy, after hours, being on the stage in Story Theater, all the things. Thank you so much.
What can I say but thank you, Michael? Thank you for 41 years of being together, doing so many different plays and productions and everything, changing not my life, but my family's life as well.
The only thing is, Michael Cochran, you won't get away scot-free.
Michael, we are so indebted to you for all you've done for Market House, for allowing a bunch of folks like us to get on stage, to do what we love, and to share our passion with fellow actors and share it with the community.
Very grateful for everything that you've done, for the opportunities you've given, the advice that you've given. Loved every minute of it.
Michael, thank you. Thank you for dedicating your life to improving the lives of thousands of children and adults, and for changing Paducah.
Michael, thank you. Thank you.